unprovoked invasion of a sovereign nation, Russia's war on Ukraine upended the global security order. It has pushed NATO and Russia closer to direct conflict, announcing what he called a special military operation February 24. Russian President Vladimir Putin invoked the ideologies of World War II.
We will strive for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine.
Russia threatened to use nuclear weapons if the West got involved in the war. NATO boosted its defense forces in Eastern Europe. Initially cautious, Western nations, led by the United States, began supplying more weapons to Ukraine, including howitzers, multiple launch rocket systems, and air defense systems. But Ukraine's demands for tanks and fighter jets remain unanswered.
We've got to sort of move away from thinking in terms of supplying just enough for Ukraine not to be defeated, to supplying enough for Ukraine to defeat Russia.
Western military aid helped Ukrainian forces recapture the cities of Marquis and Kherson. As the brutal winter sets in, major offensives have given way to trench warfare and long-range strikes. Russia is now targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure.
Putin's attacks on civilian infrastructure and the cut in gas supplies to Europe and so on is obviously intended to achieve victory through demoralization of Ukraine and its allies. I don't think that is working.
Analysts say the coming months will test the commitment of the West.
We can either allow a nuclear bully to get his way and live with insecurity for decades to come, or we can make sure that Putin is not victorious in Ukraine and somehow try to rebuild something better on a much sounder basis.
And as Russian losses mount, pressure on Putin is growing.
Even the most conservative analysis right now is looking at about 50,000 men dead in Ukraine. This is between 3 and 5 times greater than what the USSR lost in Afghanistan in 10 years, in 8 months. I can't see how a society can sustain that.
But can the West sustain its support for Ukraine? Washington insists it won't waver.
The president said we're going to support Ukraine for as long as it takes.
Far beyond the conflict zone, others, not least China and Taiwan, are watching closely. The outcome of the war will not only dictate relations between Russia and the West, it will likely shape a new global order. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, London.
Give all praise, Yabashim Yosha, Bashim Rakakadash, dumb elders to the elders and apostles and men in the truth and down regarding this truth and knowledge. And the Wadi Yabashim Yosha for putting the spirit of the elders and apostles and the men in the truth and down regarding this truth and knowledge. So we can learn this truth and knowledge, know this truth and knowledge. Call Hallelujah, Yabashim Yosha, Bashim Rakakadash. Give all praise, Yabashim Yosha, Bashim Rakakadash. That was relating to the continuing Russia and Ukraine situation. Talking about that Ukraine-Russian situation. As far as the U.S. continuing giving support, because next year, February, will be a year regarding that. So they're talking about pretty much the global security will the U.S. be able to maintain to support Ukraine. That was a VOA Voice of America video. We'll get another one. This relates to Wonsan with South Korea. North Korea keeps firing missiles again.
Fired another ballistic missile towards the east coast. Water body where the missile was fired is also referred to as the Sea of the Japan. The test comes days after North Korea tested a high-thrust solid fuel engine. Experts say the engine will allow quicker and more mobile launch of ballistic missiles. as Pyongyang seeks to develop a new strategic weapon and speed up its nuclear and missile programs. Military tensions on the Korean Peninsula have risen sharply this year as Pyongyang has carried out unprecedented blitz of weapons tests. This includes the launch of its most advanced intercontinental ballistic missile ever last month. Earlier this year, President Kim Jong-un said that he wanted North Korea to have the world's most powerful nuclear force and declared his country an irreversible nuclear state. North Korea is under multiple United Nations Security Council sanctions over its nuclear and missile activity since 2006. Iran is now
South Korea military says North Korea fired unidentified ballistic missile. They've been firing missiles. South Korean military has said that North Korea has fired another ballistic missile towards the East Coast. Water body where the missile was found is also referred as the Sea of Japan. Tests come days after North Korea tested a high-thrust solid fuel engine. They talking about threatening the West, the U.S., regarding, their ballistic missiles as well. Those are reported too as well. So, these constant relating to North Korea, South Korea, U.S., Ukraine, Russia, all these nations, all kinds of conflicts all over the world, man. You had India and China at the Archana Pradesh, which is the border between India and China. So you have conflicts with that, India talking about they had building certain types of missiles and stuff. So everybody has missile capability, man. So how Russia's war on the Ukraine upended global security order, man. That's what that was that video on. And U.S. is paying relating to the continuous tab relating to Ukraine, man. A lot of money, man, which is crushing its own deficit, man. Let me get some scriptures. You have all kinds of upheaval, man. Let's go to 2 Timothy's 3:1. It's going to be short. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Perilous goes to bad and evil times, man. And that's the times we're in, man. A time to love, Ecclesiastes 3:8. A time to love, a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. So we're in a time of hate and we're in a time of war, man. We're in a time of strife, contention among these powers of kingdoms and nations. And we're in a time of war, hearing the wars and seeing the war, hearing wars and rumors of wars and actually seeing the wars in these different nations, man. Going on a year, which will be in 2 more months, relating to the Ukraine and Russia, man. February, latter part of February, that's when that started, man. So it's going on a year with that, man. So we in the times of war, we in the times of hate, man. I want to get Ecclesiastes on a few verses back. Let me see. 3 and 4, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. So we're in a time of mourning, which goes to lamenting and mourning, man. A time to what? Kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. So we see in the breaking down process of this society, man. Number 1. To everything there is a season and time. So everything, there's a season and time to everything, man. To everything there is a season and a time. Everything, every purpose under the heaven. So it's a purpose under there's everything. There is a season and time to every purpose under the heaven, man. So it's a time of doing certain things, and it's a time to not do certain things or refrain from doing certain things. Regarding scriptures and regarding prophecy, it's time for prophecy to be fulfilled, man. Because we in that time and season, man. Let's go to going back to that. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. So the Lord is sending the sword, which is his judgment ultimately, man. And he's sending not peace on earth, man. Think not that I come to send peace, but I say nay, rather division. 12:51. Think not that I come to send peace, but already the fire would be kindled, man. So that dynamic of the fire, which is the actual fires in the spirit, and the element of the spiritual fires is being set forth, relating to the vision, relating to of the sword, and pretty much the dynamic of Yahweh Shem Yashah, for he's a man of war, man. Exodus 15:3. So he's sending that spirit upon the earth, man. Or a spirit of unrest, man, upon the people. You see in the division, you see in the strife. Matthew 24:12. Iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold, man. So that's part of that division, strife, and contention upon the people, man. Go to Matthew 24. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So you hearing the wars. You hear rumors of wars. These things have to happen, man. You're going to hear about threats of wars and rumors of wars upon these nations, man. These nation against nation, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, man. So you're gonna see the strife and contention among these nations, man. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. Be not troubled, be not perplexed, be not dismayed. So be not shocked or marvel at these things, man. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So the end is not yet, man. This is just what has to play out, man. We in the latter stages, man. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. So these nations, powerful kingdoms are rising up against one another, man. And there shall be famines and pestilence. Famines goes to what? Shortages, victual supply shortages, shortages that we've been having. You're seeing a lot of empty spaces in a lot of stores on different products and goods and merchandise. And pestilence, which goes to various types of plagues, and earthquakes in different places, man. Earthquakes is a 5.4 earthquake in Texas, I believe, or North Carolina, one of them places. I believe it was Texas, 5.4. That was recent. So places that normally probably wouldn't get earthquakes are getting it. These tremors in different parts, man. On the East Coast, in the Mid, the South, out West. 24:8. And all these things, all these are the beginnings of what? Sorrow. Sorrow goes to mourning, lamenting, man. So it's not happy times, man. And that's not happy times on the earth, man. Because things are not affecting here in America, doesn't mean somewhere else there's a lot of stuff going on. It's just not affecting here on that level yet, because the Lord hasn't really brought it here to that level here yet, man. But the worst is going to happen here, man. And these people, like I said, scripture talks about when they say peace and safety, then sudden what? Destruction. Because in their security, in their false peace and safety, their false safety and security, the Lord's going to come send these judgments like a thief in the night upon these people, and it's going to catch these people off guard. You know what I mean? Because they're the walking zombies out here, man. These people are the walking zombies. And they think they're oblivious to the things that's around them. They're in that bubble. Think that bubble can't be popped or can't be burst, man, or punctured, man. So when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them like a woman in travail, relates to the birth pangs, man. It is a joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity, which is the wicked. That's going to be the outcome for them because of their iniquities, man. The ones in power. Job 9:24. The what? Earth has been given to the hands of them, man. The wicked. Let me go to Sirach 5 and 7. It's Sirach 5 and 7. Make no tarry and turn into Lord, so don't wait. That's why the prophets out here warning you, man. They highly recommending and aggressively telling you to relating to persuading you to repent and to tarry back, to come back to the Lord and work to the best of your abilities and hope for grace and mercy. Making no tarry to the Lord, making no tarry to turn to the Lord, but not and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Because put off not day to day, because each day is not promised, number one. Suddenly, because sudden things can happen, because it's going to come like a thief in the night, and in thy false form of security, false sense of security, you know what I mean? And I will complement with 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. And on thy security thou shalt be destroyed. When they say peace and safety, then what comes? Sudden destruction, man. So in thy form of security and safety, man, they can perish in the day of vengeance, man, by Yahweh Shem Yashah, because they put off and delayed regarding coming back to the Lord, man. We'll read that again. Make no tarry to turn to the Lord, and put not off day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. And that's what's going to happen, because you put off day to day from turning back to the Lord, because majority of people think they have plenty of time and things will never happen in this lifetime, and because they underestimated the times, they're going to be taken in their security, man, because they weren't persuaded, they weren't fully convinced otherwise, man. Let's continue on. Jeremiah 28. prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, the prophets of the old, and the spirit of those prophets of the old are back into the men of the day, man. That's why you see men on the highways, servants of the Lord, men of the Lord, prophesizing to warn the people, man. And the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied, both against many countries, against great kingdoms of what? War, evil, and pestilence. And that's what you're hearing, man. That's why the prophets are prophesizing. They coming in the spirit of prophecy. Revelations 19 and 10, man. In the spirit of prophecy, man. Of what? War, evil, pestilence. Evils which goes to bad and perilous times. War which goes to these powerful nations and kingdoms fighting against one another. And pestilence that relates to the plagues, man. The forms of judgment that the Lord, diversity of judgment that the Lord is going to send, man. And part of that is these nations going to war. It's going to be World War III. It's going to be martial law. It's going to be something relating to I call it the intrusive device, man. Something unwanted, unwelcome, and something that that's going to be unauthorized in a matter of speaking, man. That relates to Revelations 13:16, man, which we better known as the Charagma, man. That's a major prophecy, man. These things are part of the bitter of the Bible that has to be preached, man. And also Babylon, which relates to the merchant city, the finality of Babylon, man, relating to Revelations 18. The merchant city where the goods, services, and products are sold to where worldwide ones who can make money, man, and profit. And sell their goods, make money in a land of opportunity. Babylon, aka America, man. That's talking about that. Revelations 18 and 10, man. And they shall mourn relating to that, man. So the judgment of Babylon, man, that's America, whether you believe it or not, man. So these are things of prophecy that has to be played out according to scriptures, man. Martial law, cannibalism, famines, pestilence. There's going to be famines. There's going to be pestilence. Different types of pestilence, plagues, forms of judgments, different types of calamities. And the worst of it's going to happen in this place, man. Because the worst of it's going to be brought here. That's why testers are on these other places, man. This is the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yashad, man. The Lord is beginning to what? To visit the world which He has made, man. Woe unto the ones who dwell in the world, man. Relating to 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. That's a warning, man. The worst is going to happen here, man, in Babylon, man, aka America, man. So that was a few scriptures of the prophet. So that was Jeremiah 28 and 8, man. Because the prophets of the old preach of war, evil, pestilence, the bitter of the scriptures, man. That's what they preach, man. World War III. That's going to happen, man. Go to 2 Timothy 3 and 1 again. One more. This know also, in the last days perilous times shall come. Perilous times, man. All over the world, man. All over the world, perilous times, man. Bad and evil times, man. Economy, inflation. Everything going up, man. That's the times we're in, man. And that being said, this is something short, real quick. I want to give all praise, Yahweh Bashim. I hope it helps. This is Zayah Wolf. I hope it helps in some way, whoever listens. Give all praise, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Bashim, Rakakadash. Shalom. Thanks.